Welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, the ESPN for all things comedy, with your hosts, Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne. And now, grab a drink and welcome Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne.
Welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. I'm your host, Mark Riccadonna, and with me as always,
Richie Byrne.
And on the ones and twos, we got the big kahuna himself, Christian.
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up,
That's
Christian?
very late.
Wow, look at this. Who's everybody? How's
This
everybody
week,
doing?
we got a very special
We do.
episode. This is a big one for you.
This is a big one for me. This is one of my oldest and dearest friends in the comedy business. One of my favorite comics in the world. And love him to death. And he's here for us today. Mr. Buddy Fitzpatrick.
Hey, thank you, brother. I feel the same way.
You know what I
we
think.
play-
Do I have to do this, or
You know,
can I
if
stay
you
back
want,
here?
You can.
I can lean in.
NPR.
We have a clip of Buddy. Let's get the clip out of the way. And then we can get into the drinks, the jokes, and the storytelling.
That sounds good to me.
It's good to be here. I'm feeling good. I fell not too long ago. Oh my gosh, I was in New York, had a bad fall, and I realized the moment that I fell, I'm actually at that age where I really shouldn't be falling. Do you know what I mean? I knew it the minute I fell. When you're young and you fall, your first thought is, I hope nobody saw me. When I fell, my first thought was, I hope somebody saw me. Right? I needed help getting up, but it was New York. Nobody, they just were like, whatever. So I got coffee because there was money on my back. So, it like all worked out is what I'm saying. I'm just saying that. A friend of mine said, wow, you fell, you better be careful because the older you get and the more you fall, bad news, sorry, which is scary, right? Every time somebody old dies in my life, that's always the beginning of the story, and it scares me all the time. Yeah, I didn't know he died. What happened? About 3 months ago, he fell. Oh, of course he did. Yes, of course he did. And then how they died is ridiculous, no matter what the story is, yeah, he was doing good and back in rehab. We thought he would, but the end is always something like, and then he got a paper cut and died of pneumonia. Like, what? Really? Okay. My mother's 93. My mother's 93 years old. She lives in an apartment by herself. She doesn't know she's by herself, but she's by herself. And she can't hear, which is, I know, but it's annoying. Can we just admit that let me say something to the people who can't hear. It's not our fault. Don't be annoyed at us. We can be annoyed at you. Because it's no visit. It's just a lot of correcting. That's all. We're getting you a hearing aid. I don't like Gatorade. That kind of nonsense. Well, you mumble. Oh, all right, Mom. You're right. You figured it out. I do mumble. Yes. Because I'm trying to drive you crazy. Because I want that $1,000 in your checking account. Yeah. Figure that out. Well, I hear the TV just fine. I know. So do your neighbors. Can we get on this? My kids always think I'm mad at her. Every time I hang up the phone, they're like, why were you so mad at Grandmom? It's not that I'm mad at her, girls. I just need her to hear me, I'm hanging up! But I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Take her out to lunch. I get her in the car. She can hear the GPS. What's that all about? She hears the GPS perfectly, although she doesn't know what it is. So all she does is go, what? What? Who's here? Who keeps telling you where to go? GPS, Ma. Huh? Jesus? Yes, Jesus. He doesn't like the way I'm going in life, so he wants me to make the next legal U-turn. So I'll be turning my life around in about 700 feet.
That's it.
That's cool.
You're looking at it like, what the heck was that?
Why is that person texting?
I have a
during your
little
show?
commercial at the end.
Yeah, really.
That's great. So you did DryBar.
DryBar.
Which is,
I did.
it's a
Didn't
very
everybody?
big deal.
Didn't it? Did
No.
you do it? Did
No.
you do it, Christian? Did you do it?
No, we kind of.
You can do it.
What,
No,
what do you
it's a
mean,
great-
everybody?
No, a lot of. It's just. It's the thing to do. It's the new Comedy Central.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's great out in Utah, and they fly you out. They bring you out.
No, I have.
Beautifully shot.
It's beautifully
Beautiful,
shot. It's a
and-
3-camera shoot, and you get standing ovations. They give you the CD to sell.
And you have to be totally clean, right? That's what I'm hearing.
You not only have to be totally clean. In the original joke where I go, when you're young and you fall, you go, oh my God, I hope nobody saw me. There, because you're in front of Mormons, I said, when you're young and you fall, I said, I hope nobody saw me. You can't even say, oh my God.
So my Jesus, Mary, and Joseph joke would not fly with them.
That's a little different because you're using it as the joke. You're not using it as a reference to, oh my God.
Get out of here, really?
There's clean.
Because I
and
said
there's
Jesus.
Mormon
I
clean.
used Jesus.
Oh, yeah, you
you
did.
in the car. That you can do.
Interesting. But my joke is that my mother is cursing Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Yeah, then
so
you probably
not.
probably wouldn't.
But I mean,
It's only 25 minutes. They gave you did 25
I want to do
minutes.
it. I'll tell you, we'll talk off the air, but I want to do it. I have some connections in Utah too.
Ah, well.
So, which is another reason why I really want to. When I heard about it, I'm like, I
Mafia.
want to do the show. Yeah. Apparently,
The Mormon Mafia? Is that what
Yeah.
you just said?
yeah. I mean,
That's so funny. How mean would they get?
We're going to make you an offer that you really will like. It's very.
You can refuse, but we'd rather you wouldn't.
Because it's really a good favor in your deal.
It's quite a
Yeah.
lucrative opportunity.
now, can I just tell you something? When you were talking about the falling, when I was a sophomore in college, I was walking down the hall. I'll never forget. I was walking down the hall with a girl who I was trying to date.
Impress.
To date.
Yeah, well, she was in a uniform.
And she was the lunch lady. And we're walking, and I had boots on, and it was raining out, so it was slippery. And when we hit the stairwell, and it was crowded because it's the middle of the day, my boot caught like a puddle, and I went up in the air. It was like Fred Flintstone, like I held in the air, and I remember in my head thinking, I am never getting laid for the entire 4 years that I'm here at college. And then I hit like
the ground.
oh my God, it
You're
was
going
so
straight to bed, but not with her.
so yeah. And not long after that, I had herniated disc. I never realized how it happened. That might have been what did it.
Of course it was. You would land that hard on
Yeah.
concrete and on a step.
step.
Come on, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh
Man.
my God! It was Angie just moved in with me, and this is when we lived in Astoria, and they have those giant marble staircases in those old buildings. We're on the roof watching fireworks for the 4th of July, and I slipped, like you just said. Feet went above my head. I hit the steps so hard, my elbow split open,
Oh,
and I had to
ow.
leave for a month on the road with Spanky. And my elbow swelled up. It looked like Popeye. And I just bandaged it up. And my wife, which girlfriend at the time, and she just kept going like, you can't go. You have to go to a doctor. Like, you need stitches. And it got infected. It blew up so big.
But you went on the gig. That's a
I
comic.
still went. I was
Yes.
then I was in
of course
Myrtle
he went
Beach.
on the gig.
I needed the money.
That's an East Coast comic.
Yes.
West Coast would be like, I can't go. But East Coast comics get up
Yeah.
and go.
We're
man.
in Myrtle Beach, and I forget what I was doing, and I bent my elbow, and just blood and pus shot
Oh my
across the
God.
room.
Like The Exorcist.
It was like,
oh my God.
and they were like,
Oh my God.
"What the hell happened?" I'm like, "It feels good now."
Spontaneous
It feels good."
projectile.
Wow.
It was the most disgusting.
But it's what it. But it's what it
We
needed.
got a spit take
That's
from
so
him,
funny.
and now a puke
Chris is
take.
Oh my
having
God,
a rough
that's
time. So how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you.
We,
as well as anybody can be in this.
yeah, I miss
nonsense. I miss you
you. I
too.
haven't seen
man.
you in over a year.
Yeah, has
you
it
know?
really been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a very special relationship as far as I feel, and that we're
I'll
like.
find out what kind of
Um,
relationship we
It
have.
is.
Yeah,
Your
I can't,
Eskimo
I can't wait to
twins.
hear.
I
what
once
kind of
called him my
relationship we
best
have.
friend on stage, and Andy Engel. No, was it Andy Engel? No, it was Ed Kavanaugh. Goes,
Sweaty Eddie.
I never you thought that you and Sweaty Eddie, that you and Buddy were that close, and I go, well, I mean, we don't see each other for a year,
right. But it's but we don't. Yeah,
we
I know
pick
what
up
you're
right
saying.
where we left off.
Yeah.
Like it's you know those friendships, you know, and we have that.
That's those are the comics. No matter how long it goes or what happens in either's career, as soon as you get back together, it's like you're back to day one hanging out.
Well, we live in a world where, I mean, back when we lived in this world, you worked, I worked. You know, if you were different levels, we could work together. But most of the time, it's hard to see each other
because we started at pretty much the same time.
Probably,
too.
yeah.
So we were like, you know how it is. Like we were middles at the same time. We became headliners at the same time. So you don't get to work with those people much,
right?
You know, it's funny how that happens. You know, but we did a college showcase together back in 1923. And I remember,
ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage. There's only one telegraph recording of it left.
Yes.
And when you started, it goes like this.
It sounds like crap.
I remember. Do you remember that college showcase we did? And Charlie Chaplin was there. And no, I'm kidding. I was like,
he was the opening act.
He was like, I have new material, and he had a cane. We were like, that's not new material.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But we were at a table. We were at a table, and it was me and him and a bunch of. My agent was there, and my agent at the time could not stop talking about how funny Buddy is. Just sitting. She just went on 20 minutes about Buddy you are so funny. That bit you did head and a half. Remember head and a half?
Oh my God, head and a half.
Head and a half was one of my favorite bits.
And he had a huge head, and we called him Head and a Half. Wow, that's amazing. That's
and
amazing.
he had a whole story about paying the toll at the bridge.
Buick Day.
Buick Day.
That's right.
Tell the story quick, please. Tell the story.
I would set it up where Head and a Half was easy to play tricks on. Because he was an idiot. And he drove a Buick. So one time, we always played jokes on him. So one time we were all going down the Jersey Shore. And he drives a Buick. And we said, today on the Parkway, you know, it's Buick Day. And he said, what is Buick Day? And we said, well, they allow a certain make of a car every day to drive without paying any tolls. Today's Buick Day. You're so lucky. So,
oh my God. He told him.
So we got to the toll booth and paid the person, but we paid him double. And I said, that's for my friend behind me in the Buick. Just wave him through. So Head and a Half pulls up, tries to pay the toll. And the guy goes, no, you can go. And heads in the car like, oh my God, it is Buick Day. So every toll we pay double and say, that's for the guy behind in the Buick, except the last toll. So when Head and a Half went barreling through, all the cops, sirens, they pulled him over. And I think I used to end it. Where I was on the car going, but it's Buick Day, man.
I thought you were in cops going, it's Buick Day.
Right, yeah, something like that. Day. Wow, I forgot about that.
My agent, my college agent, is just crying over Head and a Half. And I remember walking away, and another comic goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, why?" He goes, I don't know, if my agent talked that much about another comic right in front of me, I'd have a problem. I'm like, it's a funny bit, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Did you hear the punchline?
It's a funny bit.
So the way we start every show is...
Which is not true, because we get sidetracked.
I was going to say, what did we just do? We haven't started yet?
It's just the line that we use to get to the drink. It's a bad segue.
And every show we say it's a very special guest. Every show.
That's hilarious. And this is my best friend. And let me tell you the relationship we have. You do that every time.
No,
okay?
just no.
No.
Just it's a very special. This was I was being truthful. Love you, bud.
No, I love you too, man.
But we do start every show with a drink.
Okay.
And then a joke.
Okay.
And then stories. Unfortunately, we did the stories.
We always go right to stories.
Yeah, we go right to stories because we love.
Maybe you should change the name.
Maybe we should call it
storytelling.
Drinks
already
jokes.
Drunk and and we'll try to squeeze in a joke at the end.
What are you guys drinking?
Well, let's start with Buddy.
I have a. Am I allowed to show it?
Yes, yeah.
I have a Yangling
lager. I love Yangling.
Larger. Apparently, it's a larger one.
It's bigger.
It's a traditional larger. And I think I can.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds good.
Thank you.
Wow.
Cheers. Oh, do we clink?
Oh yeah.
Well, and
I'm going with the Champagne of beers.
Champagne of beers.
High life. 'Cause
It's the high life.
I'm classy.
And I
Into the high
I am
life
doing
again.
Diet Coke. For the first time in the history of this show, I'm not drinking.
He's not having a...
And I'll tell you why. Because I
Your
am
liver
on...
looks like a football.
well, that. I am on that keto diet, which low
So,
carb. Diet Coke
is
has
okay?
absolutely no carbs. And I forgot to pick up a low carb beer or something on my way here.
And there are low carbs. You're right. Yeah, there are
Yeah.
low carb beers.
Oh yeah, Ultra,
Yep, Ultra is a good one.
Miller Lite is very low in carbs. So I screwed up. I screwed up, people.
Sticking to it,
Richie,
Where is it? There it is. Diet
Richie,
Coke.
this tastes delicious.
It looks so. I gotta tell you, buddy, it looks delicious.
It is delicious.
Let me tell you this.
And you started in Philly, so it's appropriate you having a lager.
I think so. I not only started there, I started comedy there too.
Were you originally from Philly?
I'm originally from Philly.
Okay, because you're a Jersey guy now, right?
Jersey, northern Jersey.
Northern Jersey.
Clinton area.
Clinton.
I didn't know that. Because you were out in Pennsylvania for a while, right? Where were you?
Well, didn't we just...
No, I mean,
Philadelphia is Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I know. I meant.
Can we have a map?
Weren't you like
I'm
in
not one for fancy book learning.
out near Alex's
Don't know
house or
much
something?
about... no, I was never in Bethlehem.
Where were you? Can you just tell me where you were before you were in Clinton?
Philadelphia.
I can't
I don't know
hear.
how many times I can say
I
it.
can't hear the word Philadelphia without thinking of that Tom Shillue bit. Do you remember he used to do the
No.
Philadelphia had a
I
commercial?
love Tom Shillue.
Oh, love
And
him.
it was.
I wish he wasn't on every show, but I love him. Every time I put on my TV, there's Tom Shillue.
What was his bit?
It was like the
Shouldn't do
city
another.
of Philadelphia was doing a thing to get people to come. to
Oh,
Philly,
yeah.
And they had a woman quote the Declaration of Independence, but sexy. So it was like, Philadelphia, never was there a more perfect union. And then he just goes, and who had to go through the Declaration of Independence and find all the innuendos? And he goes, so I did. But every time he goes to say one of the punchlines, he goes, Philadelphia, you are endowed by your father. He's so damn funny.
We
so
should
damn
get
funny.
Tom Shillue. I bet
He'd
he'd
be
do
great.
it. Yeah.
When I did Red Eye when he took over.
I did Red Eye.
Get out.
with
And he
Tom.
was-
What?
I did Red Eye with
Why
Tom.
is it I do nothing?
Yeah, whatever. I did Red Eye with...
It was
Did you like Red Eye?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and it's funny because it's on so late at night.
Yeah.
But I got all these Twitter followers.
But you filmed it at around like 7 in the evening, so it was
Yeah.
great. Then you could go home and watch it at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I did it with Carmen Lynch.
no way. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
Carmen.
yeah. It was I enjoyed it. I only did it once.
Yeah, I did it once, and then it got canceled. So
I had my daughter. It was a Father's Day, and I brought her into the city, and I said, "Oh, you know who lives around here? A good friend of mine, Tom Shillue." And she's like, "Dad, I don't know who you're talking about." I go, "Well, he runs the show Red Eye and blah blah blah," and we bump into him. We're walking into the
randomly?
restaurant, and he's walking out with his family.
Oh my God.
And Buddy, Tom, oh God, and he goes, you know what? I want to get you on Red Eye. Like it was planned for my
Wow.
daughter. Yeah.
you were.
It was
hiding
amazing. Yeah.
I think he eats.
See, I used to see him. He used to be the head writer for Jimmy Fallon, or one of the.
Okay.
And he was one of the, which I didn't know about him. Jimmy used to do this barbershop quartet.
He's still
my
and
God.
Tom still
Tom's
does it.
one of the singers.
Yeah,
yeah,
he still
he's
does it.
really good,
He's
man.
so talented.
So because we were across the hall from Jimmy
Okay.
at Dr. Oz, so I used to see him all the time, and in his outfit too. He's always in that.
In the barber
And they were
shop
so
quartet.
good. I
They
used
were
to go
so
in and
good.
watch them rehearse.
Oh,
'cause
wow.
It was just so much fun to watch that.
Yeah.
Because as a singer, I never sang barbershop, and it's very hard. It's really cool,
Yeah.
I
to,
think you and Christian should start a barbershop.
I think
quartet.
we'd be great.
But
Chris.
just the two of you.
Yeah. We gave you the little striped
we'd be
shirts.
barbershop duo,
Duet.
duet.
So
Duet.
we watched a clip from you, and it was from DryBar,
Yes.
which is
Another thing I didn't do.
yes.
Let's talk about everything that Richie hasn't done yet.
Oh, we can talk
That
about
we
everything.
have. That we have. So when I got the award, the Oscar,
But when you're out there, outside of doing the show, it's Provo, right? Utah.
Correct.
And what else? What's the fun thing? Because usually after a show, you go out and get drunk, but they don't.
Oh, there's a
it's
Marriott.
dry.
No, there's a Marriott.
Oh, they serve at the
Oh
hotel.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you
And there
mean?
are bars.
What do you
There
mean
are
after
bars.
a show you go out and get drunk?
Well, he
Dry
looks
bar.
responsible.
I'm joking.
He looks
I've been drunk
responsible. You
before.
and I would be
Right.
8
Hammered.
in the morning.
Do you remember that show we did in the theater and Kevin Meaney ran a mile to get the beer? Kevin Meaney needed beer.
Was it when he was heavy or
Before
was
the
it when he was
show.
thin?
He climbed fences. I mean,
He did. He climbed
You know
fences
what
to
it
get
was?
the beer.
It was St. Patrick's Day,
And it was at
and it was 6 of us.
Smithtown Theater.
Smithtown Theater in Long Island. There was 6. It was me, Buddy Fitzpatrick, Kevin Meaney,
Moody maybe.
Moody McCarthy. It was like 6 guys. You had to have a last name of Irish, right?
Some Irish name.
And you can't get out of the theater without walking through the audience. So he went
There's
out
a
the
back door.
but you have to jump
It
down,
leads
then
into an
climb a
alley.
fence. Yeah, it was amazing.
It's just crazy. And Kevin, we're there. We're back. It's a theater, so we're in the green room. We're in the green room, and
Did he just say I can't? They're telling the story for the 80th time.
I've heard this one.
Oh
No,
my
I'm
God.
kidding.
Okay,
I'm
go
kidding.
No,
I asked him to look up a Kevin Meaney clip.
Oh,
Oh,
great. Oh yeah,
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to play
without
that.
a doubt.
So-
'cause he's-
You can just say it. It's your show. Just be like, hey.
I know. I didn't know that they were going to make a big deal out of it. I thought it would be exciting to go.
the fact that you did it the other way, we made a
Now-
big deal out
Yeah.
of it.
I'm gonna. I got there.
Whatever I do,
It
go
happened
the opposite.
anyway. Yeah.
Let me
Richie, when I
preface-
zig, you zig
Let
too.
me preface this story by saying, God, Kevin was so funny.
Oh
God.
well, hello. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
sitting. I get there. Kevin's the first one there. I'm the second one there. Kevin's sitting, and he's staring at himself in a mirror, in one of the mirrors,
Yeah.
because it was dressing room, it was theater. And I go, Kevin, and he goes, hey, and I go, oh, you're on the show? I didn't know Kevin was on the show. And he goes, yeah. And I go, oh, I didn't know that. Or no, I go, Kevin, I didn't know you were on the show. And he goes, yes, it's called On the Way Down. And I just started laughing. So he was like in this weird mood. And then he goes, well, I am not. He didn't realize there's two acts. There was intermission.
It's
He's
St. Patty's.
last.
He's like, I want a drink.
He goes, I want a beer. I want a beer. So he now goes out this door
It's
like,
time to go.
I mean, he's Rambo, right? And he's hopping, he's running through this alleyway. I think it was raining.
He was gone for a good 15, 20
Yeah,
minutes.
he
to the
went
point where we
over a
forgot about
fence.
it.
We forgot that
forgot
Kevin
about
left. Now, the way it worked is once you get through this door, you have to go down these stairs to come
Cement.
to the green room.
Cement.
Cement stairs.
Oh my god.
So-
Yeah, it's just like an old school theater.
Meaney gets to the back door. He's got a case of beer. He forgets that there's no step. You got to hop up.
Yes.
We're downstairs. All of a sudden, we hear, "Fuck!" Bang, clank, clank,
Smattering.
and Meaney going, "Mother, shit, fuck, motherfucker!" And I look at Buddy, and Buddy just goes like this. Like that.
You just knew what happened. And we're all in there. We all went, oh my God. I would say out of 24 beers, probably 6 survived.
Yes, which I drank. And
Right.
Kevin-
And we're sweeping, right?
We're
Remember, we're
without
sweeping,
a
we're getting
broom.
paper towels.
Kevin is telling us, I went over a goddamn fence and I had to go here. And he goes, I'm finally back. I open the door, I'm back. And I forget there's no step.
All the way down.
Speaking of falling from your
Yes.
driveway,
Yeah. This is the falling show. And his whole comment about the way down. We forget he hosted
Kevin-
SNL.
Kevin Meaney
Oh
was
my god.
He had his own sitcom,
He was
Uncle
huge.
Buck.
I know.
He-
I know.
Crazy.
So
And such a great guy.
A wonderful man.
Just
he
a
lost
great
all
guy.
of his weight.
Yep.
He was kicking ass, doing awesome. Him and I started to get close. I always knew him through DJ Hazard, and him and I were trying to pitch a afternoon talk show
Oh, wow.
that it would be him as the talk show. It's like,
Which is a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned.
I think, and he was so goddamn funny.
Oh, God.
We went to a music festival and we did a ton of Man on the Street stuff, and building all these segments and trying to make like a sizzle reel. And he goes into this music festival. Are you here for the pot fest? Are you here for the pot fest? You guys smoking that hashish? Let's play one of his clips.
Oh my God,
I think
fantastic.
the Tonight
Yeah.
Show, is it? Oh,
Yeah, the Tonight Show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My name is Kevin Meaney. Thinking about changing my first name to Eenie. Thank you. Hey, Meaney, figure it out for yourselves, folks. Parents' names are Miney and Mo. I have a little brother by the name of Teeny Meaney. And I have an Aunt Jeannie. Good night, everybody. Thank you. I'm so glad I have you right here. Thank God, my eye! You're gonna poke my eye out! I don't believe it! My mother would say, you're doing that on purpose. Putting the microphone in your eye. Why do you do things like that? You're like a crazy person. The other comedians aren't poking their eyes out. Why do you have to do that? One of these days, one of your crazy friends is gonna put a needle in that microphone. Then it's gonna be real funny, isn't it? Walking around with one eye. Why do you do this to your father and I? You're like a mental case on stage. I don't think you want to see. You probably have your one-eye jokes already written. God, you're like a crazy person. Anything in my house could poke an eye out when I was a kid. Be passing pizza across the table. You're gonna take your brother's eye out with that slice. Now put your goggles on and go to bed. And stop rolling around up there. Rolling in the bed. Why are you rolling? Your brothers don't roll. Your father doesn't roll. You're like a crazy person rolling. Rolling. You're gonna fall out of that bed and poke your eye out. They were crazy, not me. We couldn't wear tight.
This is my thing with Kevin Meaney is, are you in on the joke?
Right.
Like, that's
right.
the audience.
Right.
Like, when he opened just then, they all thought, oh my God, this guy's awful.
This is gonna be bad.
Right.
And he was so goddamn funny.
He was relentless too. He
Now-
was relentless about it. He would just he kept going on. It's almost like he didn't care.
Well, that's where
I
he came
don't
up with,
care.
I don't care.
I don't care, yeah.
Because he...
If you can find the song "I Don't Care" with him, yeah, you got it. Oh, okay,
Yeah, right here.
okay, got it. Yeah, let me.
Thank you. Good job, Christian.
I like the subtitles are in Japanese.
I know, I love that.
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care. Everybody, I don't care. He does not care. I don't care. He does not care. I don't care. I'm happy-go-lucky. Women call me plucky. I don't care. He does not care. I don't care. Look out, Hank Mancini. Here comes Eenie Meenie. I don't care. One more time. No! I don't care. Shut up. We hate you. I don't care. We're going to kill you. I don't care. Bing, bing, bing. Zoom, zoom, zoom. This is stupid. Making noises on the show. That's not right. Why do you do this to your father and I? Good night, ladies and jellyfish. You've been great. Thank you very much.
It's
Now-
I just love him.
He,
Ching Chong Ma. No, you never knew it was Ching Chai Amai. Did you see the subtitles? Did you see the subtitles?
What?
You didn't see the subtitles? Yeah.
What do you say?
I was speaking the Chinese for some
You
reason.
were not speaking.
Look right there, the Chinese subtitles.
You speak Chinese.
No. You
He's
know what?
guessing.
That joke didn't go over that I just did. I don't care. I don't care.
Now,
I have this love of Kevin Meaney that just
Yeah.
now that night, we were talking later, he and I, and he asked me about Dr. Oz show. And he says, my mother loves Dr. Oz. Just loves Dr. Oz. I go, bring it to the show. He goes, what? I go, I'll set it up. He goes, are you like, of course, Kevin. He goes, are you serious? I go, call me. I will set it up. I'll get him to meet her. He like, I'm like, why would he act like he, 2 years go by. I don't see Kevin Meaney. He never calls me. I work with him again. Same theater, Smithtown Theater. Same. It was another St. Patty's show.
Yeah.
And I go, Kevin, you never call me about your mom. Well, he goes, I went home. I told my mother, Mom, I worked with the warm-up act for the Dr. Oz show. You know you love Dr. Oz. Yeah. Oh, well, really? Guess what? We're going. She goes, where? The Dr. Oz show. She said, what? I said, he's going to get me tickets. I'm going to take you. We're going to go to the Dr. Oz show. My mother said, I can't go. I said, why? She goes, what would I wear? He goes, you're not dating him, Ma. You're going to a fucking show. So she wouldn't go. And so I laughed. And then when he passed away, I'm at the wake. And his mom, I'd never met his mom.
Yeah.
And his mom was so, like, this is Kevin Meaney's mother. You know,
it was such a part of his act.
Such a part of his act. And I told her, I go, I'm the warm up for the Dr. Oz show. And she goes, oh, he wanted me to go. I had nothing to wear. What would I wear? I couldn't believe that she was saying this.
That was it.
I thought he was kidding. I love it.
Hey, to Kevin Meaney.
Kevin Meaney. Cheers. Everybody at home, have a drink.
Yes.
Go down the wormhole of just Kevin Meaney video after Kevin Meaney video. And if anybody is really falls in love with him, send me an email at it's drinksjokesandstorytelling@gmail.com, and I have video clips from that pilot that I'll share with you.
Oh wow, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Showed them.
Wow.
Do you have them? You don't have them now.
I'd have to go dig them up on the Dropbox, but
wow,
he was so easy to work with.
Yeah.
And there would be nothing going on, and we're like, shit, we got everything set up and there's nobody around. He goes, well, let's just do something. Start rolling. And he would just go.
He would just. I worked with him. The last time I worked with him was at the Borgata, the casino.
Yeah.
And he called me. He goes, let's get something to eat. Come to my room. We'll go. So I go to his room. We just sit for a little bit. We're talking, and we're leaving. And as we leave, he goes, keys and wallet and my phone. And I went, what did you just do? And he goes, I'm so OCD that when I leave my house or my room, I sing this little song, keys and wallet and my phone. And he touches them all. To this day, I walk out of my house going, keys and wallet and my phone. And my phone. I had my phone.
He got the keys. Well, you got to add and the mask now.
That's true. You could do and the mask. Yeah, that's true.
So
and my phone and my mask.
And my mask.
I think him and John Mulrooney are the two most fearless comedians I've ever seen.
maybe.
That just goes for it. They don't care if it'll work. They don't care if it'll whatever. They just go.
Yeah.
I just worked with John.
You said that. Yeah,
I was
Mulrooney.
in Erie, PA. It was him, Kevin Downey Jr., Tom Briscoe, and I.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a show.
Erie has a new club. Juniors was
Juniors
bought,
got bought. Yeah.
called
Did you ever do
Kellers.
juniors?
Now it's called seniors. I did do juniors.
Wow.
Yes, I have done.
Talk
juniors.
about not afraid of a joke.
Hacky.
Yeah.
Not afraid to do any joke right there. I mean, first we had the
You
Chinese
call that
bullshit.
a joke?
Then
You
we
call
had
that
this.
a joke? I don't care. I don't care.
Now,
Why was he lassoing? I never understood the lasso.
I used to love when he did the duet with Sinatra.
Oh yeah,
and then when he cut
in Brazil or something.
Yeah, and then when he would like jump on Frank's line, like,
Yeah.
and he go, "Sorry, Frank, sorry, Frank." Every time he did that, I was on the floor.
Yeah.
Like I'd never seen it before. Sorry, Frank.
He's
sorry.
somebody that no matter how many shows I was on with him, I could watch every single
And
show and
laugh.
just
Who
laugh.
were
Yes.
some of the guys when you first started, the first group of guys to like compliment her? Like we were talking earlier, Ted Alexandro was mine and Andrew Kennedy. That the first time they saw me do stand up, they like pulled me aside and were like, "You were really funny. You're doing really well. Keep working on this." And like they were so to me, no matter what happens the rest of my
I am
life.
still waiting for somebody to say that to me.
It's my college agent for Buddy.
Well, you were telling that great story about.
Oh, I was telling Mark that when I was first started going on the road, I'd meet comics from New York, and they'd say, "Oh, you should come to Caroline's. You should come to Catch or Broadway. I'll be there." come on in and I'll, hook you up or we'll hang or whatever. I'd eventually get to New York and I walk in and they would see me and go, hey, and walk away.
Yeah.
It was awkward.
Yeah.
And I
What is
started
that?
I started getting like turned off by it,
Mhm.
and I worked with Caroline Ray. She said the same thing. Hey, you're so funny. Come on in and one day I went into Catch. Catch. And she's sitting at the bar. She sees me, comes running over, puts her arm around me, brings me right over to Louis Farana, the booker, and says, this guy is really funny. You're crazy if you don't give him some time. And he goes, all right, if you say so, I'll give him 2 minutes. And she said, give him 5, Louis. And he went, all right, he's got 5 minutes. And that's how I got into the New York clubs. Because of Caroline Ray.
Well, that is
She was the only one that kept her word.
followed
And
through.
I have seen her since. And it's
She ignores you
always
still.
lovely and still knows
I don't
me,
know her. I've never
calls
worked
me.
with her, never
Yeah.
met her. Can I tell you the opposite of that story that I loved? John Manfrotati.
Yeah.
I love John
God, John
Manfrotati.
Manfrotati.
Have you ever heard him play guitar? He's amazing.
Really?
Amazing guitarist. And I worked with Manfrotati. It's got to be 25 years ago. And I had to drive him. He lived in New York at the time. And I had to drive him to the gig. It was upstate New York. We did the weekend together. And he's got like a surly kind of way about him. But I drive him home. He gets out of the car and he goes, listen, I know this is the point where I'm supposed to tell you I can get you into one of the New York clubs, but I'm just not gonna.
Brilliant.
And
That's
just
so
the way,
good.
and I just started. He goes, "I'm not gonna bullshit you." He did just the total opposite of whatever. Dude, I hope
I
you get-
appreciate that more.
I
though.
loved it. I
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love John.
Can't do anything for you.
Not gonna do it. Can't do it. Don't want to do it.
Ben Creed. You remember
love
Ben
Ben.
Creed?
Oh, we had him on
We
the
had him
show.
on the show. He was
so great.
tremendous.
He gave me great. He's another one that always remembers me. Anybody who remembers, I'll tell you a great story about
Billy Gardell.
Somebody who remembering. Well, he opens for Billy, right?
Yeah,
Ben
but
Creed does.
Billy Gardell.
will remember you.
It's like you worked with him yesterday. He couldn't be.
You know who else
nicer.
is like that? Judah Friedlander.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Judah's
Yes.
great.
Bro.
Judah worked with me. I'm telling you, 8 years ago. I'm looking for because of whatever 40 to 20 Rock.
30 Rock.
30 Rock.
30
I
Rock.
don't even know the address. Because of 30 Rock, I'm looking for a place. Where do you live? You got the kids. Where do you live? I said it's a little town called Annandale, New Jersey. I'll have to check it out. Like 8-9 years later, I'm in Gotham. He comes walking in. He goes, "Still living in Annandale?" It was amazing. Wow.
The best thing with Judah is he's like Rain Man to restaurants. He goes, "Where are you living in Queens, man?" And I go, "I'm in Astoria." He goes, "Oh my God, there's this place, 36th Street.
That's so funny.
It's Slovakian food, like
He
the
knows
weirdest
it.
little hole in the wall." And you're like, and I went, and he goes, "This is what you order, no onions." And he's like going on with the order. So Angie and I go, and we order exactly what he told us to order, and it was unbelievable.
It's brilliant, right?
It was like,
I'll
this-
tell you Judah's story. Eddie If called me
I love
years
Eddie.
ago. Eddie If calls me, goes, "Hey man, I think I might be doing one of your bits." I go, "What?"
Well, there's a class act right
He
there.
goes, "I think I might be doing one of your bits." I go, "What?" I thought he was putting me on. Like, who calls you to go? And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, Judah Friedlander said it's your bit." And I go, "Well, what is it?" And it was a song. He had a song stuck in his head, but it wasn't the song. It was nothing like my bit, except
yeah,
that it was the same premise.
similar
But
thought.
Judah
And-
remembered.
And I go, "Eddie, it's a different bit. Don't worry about it." He goes, "Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I don't think I'm." And I go, "Eddie, do the bit." Like I'm convincing him to do the bit. And he goes, "Maybe." He goes, "You know what? If I ever work with you, I won't do it." Like meanwhile, I'm not going, "Dude." I didn't call him going, "Dude, you stole my bit," right? So he goes to hang up, and I go, "What? Why did Judah?" I said, "How did Judah know like my bit?" And he goes, Judah knows everybody's bit."
That's amazing.
He said Judah's like the sheriff of comedy. I'm like, really?
You're,
So I-
you're right. He's like a savant of
Yeah.
remembering bits and so.
So I hang up the
things
phone.
like that.
I go in the city that week. Haven't seen Judah in years. I walk in. I think the Comedy Cellar. There's Judah. I go, "Hey Judah, what's up?" He goes over. He goes, "Did Eddie If call you?"
I made him call you, bro. I told him
I
a
made him
karate
call you,
chop.
bro.
Did Eddie If call you? I thought that was so funny, man.
Well, here's my Ben Creed story.
God,
Quick-
I'm sorry. I didn't
quickly.
mean-
No, that's okay. I messed it up. I was in a club, I think it was Dangerfields, and there were like 3 people from Wisconsin in the audience. That was it.
I
Waiting
love
for
those
Rodney.
shows. See, I love those shows.
But I was kind of new. I was just getting into New York shortly after I met Caroline Ray. So I'm sitting there, and Ben Creed is next to me, and I'm gonna act a little like, hey, I'm a comic now. You know, I'm in New York, a little cocky, you know, whatever.
Yeah, get a little
And
hair
I
on the
said,
balls.
I go, I didn't even know Ben, and I go, God, it sucks, 3 people, right? What are you gonna do with that? And he goes, never fault the people who showed up for the people who didn't. They deserve a show.
100%.
And I just was like, oh my God, I like shrunk. Wow. So I never forgot that.
yeah, it's great
A
advice.
couple months later, I'm driving up to Dangerfields, and there's 3 fire trucks in front of Dangerfields. Flames flying out of the apartments over Dangerfields. And the door pops open, and there's Ben Creed dragging the residents out of the building.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
So,
And he's sitting there, he's all black and, you know, from the soot, and runs back in, banging on doors, get out, get out. He's pulling elderly people out. It was amazing. It was amazing. And the firemen are like, you can stop now, sir. We have this under control. Years later, I work with him at the Borgata. And I go, Ben, buddy, we have a great week. And I go, you know what? You know what I don't forget when you were saving all those people? And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. How do you forget about that?
Wow.
How do you forget? That would be a story that
Ben's a
everybody,
good-
if
Yeah,
I
I'd be
did,
tired.
people would know about it. You know what I mean?
I'd be taking selfies. let
No,
people
actually,
know.
Yeah.
if I were you,
Isn't
I'd be
that
like,
amazing?
Ben and I were pulling people out of.
Yeah, if he doesn't remember the story, it
Why
could have been
not?
me.
Ben
Aye,
was wild.
Ben
Ben,
pulled up
remember
and
that
saw
time
me.
I pulled people out? Yeah, I remember, buddy. Oh, wow, that's a great story.
Isn't that a great story? That's the God. That's the God's honest truth.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Well, didn't they own those apartments too? Like Joe Ansis
I
lived
don't
up
know.
there.
I have no idea.
That I was going to tell you a story and I forgot what it was now.
Well, you can't beat that one.
I actually
Were you there when Richie stopped the terrorists?
I
from
actually
taking over
can tell you that Greg Vacker, and I've told this before. Greg
I
Vacker,
actually
made that up.
But you said that, and he went, I could actually, and I was like, oh, guess we're going to hear about this now.
Wow.
Greg Vaccarello and I were walking down 8th Avenue once on our way to a gig or something. And as we're walking down the street, this undercover cop car pulls up, grabs this guy who was standing on the street, pulls him, throws him down on the ground, gets on top, handcuffs him.
wow.
And Greg and I we're talking, and this all happens so New York, and we just go, like we step
over
yeah,
them.
but like-
It's like your bit.
It-
We're all going back to your bit. buddy.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I
we
am the
haven't
guest.
done your joke yet, right? But it inconvenienced us. Like, and
That's so funny.
That's the closest I've ever come to the Ben Creed.
Oh,
pulling
that's
people
so
out.
funny. That's so funny. And it
One
was
time-
Ben Creed. They were wrestling. So they were-
I was on a bus once and we were driving, and there was this guy who was trying to jump on the bus while we were driving, and he had a napkin, and it said, if you go under 15 miles an hour, the bomb will blow up. And I had to drive it to the airport.
Okay,
And we were
Keanu.
You do.
Oh,
look
no,
a-
wait, that was a movie.
You
Shit.
do look a little like Sandra Bullock.
I got bigger tits. But
You haven't given us.
Who doesn't? I mean,
We've been
God.
on how long? You have not given us your joke.
So 3 guys are trapped on an island, and natives capture them and say, we're going to kill you. And after we kill you, we're going to skin you. We use your skin to make our canoes. But we'll let you die with whatever you want to be holding on to when we kill you. And they say to the first guy, what do you want to die with? And he says, I want to die with rosary beads. So they give him rosary beads. And they say to the second guy, what do you want to die with? And he says, a bottle of whiskey. And they give him a bottle of whiskey. And they say to the third guy, what do you want to die with? And he says, a fork. And I go, all right. And they give him a fork. And he goes, fuck your canoe. No, okay.
No, it's good. It was.
Richie's the worst person
It
to
was-
have
No,
jokes.
no,
Everybody
no,
judges
no,
you when you
I'm
tell
not
them.
judging you at all. I thought it was.
Kahuna was one of
Thank
those
you.
guys who.
I thought when you started telling, I thought you were gonna go. No, you ever hear a joke And you go, oh, I know this joke. And they go, oh, no, I don't know this joke. It's not where
I'll tell you something about Richie, and I'll tell this very quickly. Cause, right,
we got time. We can go a little late.
Again, I hadn't seen him in a while, and I'm performing in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And you ever been on a show where, like, you're the comic, and there's, like, 4 other people who say they're comics?
Yeah.
They're not really but they're, whatever.
Every time I do this.
I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm on stage, and I see Richie in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Richie walks into the club, and he walks through, and he sits down at the back of the bar, just as I go on. And all the other comics that are, like, very new and didn't know what they were doing, they all go outside into another room and start drinking.
That would have been me.
And he watches my entire set. So I come off and I go in the back and be like, oh my God, start drinking. What are you doing here? You must have had a private.
I had a private for Scott Bruce.
Yeah.
Somewhere, and I was
at the hotel.
I guess I was staying at the hotel. I don't know.
But he was so upset.
Oh, it pissed me off.
He was so.
How dare you?
Tell him why you were upset.
Because you don't go into this business, you go into any business and not learn from somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And these idiots did their little 5-10 minutes and then walked out and didn't watch this man perform. Didn't learn a goddamn thing.
And he was like, you're my friend and I like watching you, but I'm also watching you.
You're going
to learn something.
You're going to learn
something even if the person's only been doing it a couple weeks.
Right.
And they go up and you've been doing it 15 years.
I used to soak it in, man.
Yeah, man. I mean,
there is a point, though. Because of working at Stand Up New York, I've seen.
That's very.
4 hours of comedy, 7 days a week.
No,
but that's different. Yeah.
And we had a great night that night, and he was so funny. I'll tell you a story that I think I've told on this show before, but not to you. He was going to do Gotham live, and he put it on Facebook. I'm going to do Gotham live, Access TV. If you're in the area, come and show me some support. So I go, I'm going to surprise Buddy. I'm going to go to Gotham and show him support. I'm going to show up at Gotham.
Yeah.
I went into the city. I wasn't even working. I went in the city, walked in, and it doesn't dawn on me how this looks. I walk in, and there's Chris Mazzilli, the owner of Gotham, for those who don't know, who did our show.
He was on
by
the
the way.
show.
He did the show.
Really?
He was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he goes, Richie. I go, hey, Chris. And he goes, how you doing, man? I go, good. And he goes, he looks at me and it dawns on me. I go, oh my God, I hope he doesn't think I came here to try and get on the show.
Because most comics, that's most comics
and I
are
really
doing
didn't
anyway,
even
right?
think or like get on because it was weekly. It was a great show. It was a great, you did it.
Show.
Yeah, it was a great show.
And I had a manager at the time who kept telling me that every reason in the book why they wouldn't use me on Gotham. So, which turned out to be lies. But because at one point, Chris Mazzilli turns to me during the night and goes, you want to do the show? And I go, I swear to God, I go, Chris, I swear to God, man, I came here to see Buddy. He's one of my best friends. And he's like, yeah, I go,
and Ed there he goes again.
I didn't,
best friend
I
again.
swear to God, I'm not here trying to move in and get, and he goes, so you don't want to do the show?
You talked yourself off.
And 3 weeks later, he called me and
it.
Can you do next Thursday? And he put me on, and I got a great tape out of it. And I laughed because I realized that someone was lying.
That was a
about
great show.
such
Here's my
a great
Chris
show.
Mazzilli story about that. I went downstairs. They put I did it twice. I did the Gotham Live, but then I did the one where they had the reality.
I did it.
Okay.
I did it.
So I'm down there, and I have the jacket. I usually wear a jacket, and my button goes, bing, just flies off.
And you're not even fat.
Yeah. You're talking to Mark and I like that's an everyday occurrence to us. But
Chris comes over and goes, give me the jacket. And he picks up the button. He goes, give me your jacket. And I go, what? And I take it off. And he goes over and he sits down, pulls out a little knitting kit.
No. Sewing kit.
Buddy, how's things going? And he's
one of the most powerful people in New York comedy.
And he fixes my button as we're chatting.
He's so Italian.
I go, can I tell people about this? He goes, yeah.
That's so great.
I love it.
That's so funny.
I
What a
said, you're
great.
not pulling people out of a fire, but you did help me here. Can I tell people?
Just as heroic.
Just as heroic.
This is why I love Buddy, because most comics you talk to, they have something negative to say. Buddy, like, he's got, not only does he go, that's a nice guy, he's got stories about sewing and pulling people out of fires.
But when I did Gotham, I found out the morning of, I got a phone call and they're like, can you get to the city by 4 o'clock?
That's awesome.
I go, yeah. And they go, yeah, dress up, make sure you got a haircut, shave, all that stuff.
Really?
And I go, what's up? And they're like, well, you're going to do Gotham. I was like, wait, what? They go, yeah, Lane Boozler's hosting, and we had a last-minute cancellation.
Gotham Live.
So it's,
Yeah, it's awesome.
So you're on. I went, oh, shit. Now I got to come up with material. Like, I never auditioned or, like, sent this is my set.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
But
yeah,
sometimes the last-minute stuff are... I've never had better sets where I walk into a room and someone goes, so-and-so didn't show up. You want to go on?
Yeah, I
You
know,
don't have time
right?
to think.
Yeah.
You just
So
go
you
up and
actually
do it,
just
right?
do it.
Yeah.
With the
Now,
walls
for me,
down.
I had
Yeah.
like 8 days, and I went berserk in that 8 days. I called everybody.
Because it's 10 minutes, isn't
to
it?
get
Something like that.
spots.
It's like 10
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. And I'm running to Dangerfields doing guest spot. I'm running to Broadway Comedy Club doing guest spot. I'm running to Caroline's doing guest spot. I mean, I spent every night running to a club, working it. The last night before the show, I ended up getting a guest spot at Gotham. And I said, Chris, I want to get on the stage there. I want to get the comfort of that stage. All right. Jimmy Cano, who I friggin' love so much.
I think he's been on our show the most.
I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, Jimmy didn't. I didn't know Jimmy that well at the time. I knew him through Lisa, and he's in the room, and there's only like 40 people, and I do it, and Jimmy comes up to me, dead serious, and goes, "Is that what you're doing tomorrow night?" And I go, and I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "Well, don't change a fucking thing. It's great." And that.
Isn't that nice?
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It just that was, and then we ended up going out after the show the next
that's
night,
awesome.
and then we became really good friends.
That's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
And
a nice
that
thing to do.
is Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on YouTube or wherever you podcast. We also would appreciate spreading the word. Let anyone who may enjoy us know about us. We appreciate the plug. Special thanks to A Shared Universe Studios, Realize Records, and Why Not for the great music.